Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan, and I need to fix the audio. It's desynced just enough. Well, welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with y'all today. And Gail, congratulations on your crown of Firstendom. Lo, you have claimed this crown on the day of a new game. May your crown be one of wisdom to guide us, because I have no idea what I'm doing in this game. It's going to be fun. We're going to adventure together. But also good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, Roxy. You are indeed Thirth. Does that make me forced? No, that would make this joke forced. Anyway. Yeah, so this game's called Victory at Hebron. It's based on a card game called Redemption, which is a biblical-themed trading card game, which is still in production. Still has an active competition scene, apparently, made by Cactus Games, so shout out to them. But it's not exactly a one-to-one. Like, they seem to have changed some rules and added others and just made it really weird. So I don't know, and I barely know how to play. I watched a few videos. I tried to learn. It's complicated. I think we'll pick it up. We'll find out. But Brayherd has started his points in the point hole, so clearly he has faith. Before we get started, though, I want to give a thank you and a shout out to some new followers. Thank you, AJP, Captain McFriendly, Rising Storm, and Ashelina. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follows. Glad to have y'all here. Now I want to give y'all the pure, unabridged start to this game. I have not even booted it up yet. I've tested it. It does work, but I have no idea what the intro cutscene looks like, so let's find out together. Oh, that is some peak 90s, 2000s. This is some dramatic card playing here. I can't even read what those are. What is this like a Kingdom Hearts style? It is! What? This is so dramatic. What? Why is it on fire? Sir, that seems like a waste of a card. What? What? That's it? Why was the sword so important? What? Oh, good. We were wondering when we play Kingdom Hearts again. Oh, don't worry. We're going back. We're going to play Kingdom Hearts 2 as soon as Chrono Trigger's done, which should probably only be 2 more streams. So we'll probably start Kingdom Hearts 2 before the end of the year. Okay, let's start a new campaign.
After the fall of Jericho and Ai, word spread quickly through all of Canaan that our powerful army had amassed in the region and had made a treaty with the Gibeonite League. In fear, the Amorite kings formed an alliance to make war with Gibeon and to rid us from the region. Their armies were great in number and posed a significant threat to our ability to take the land that our God had promised us long ago. Many within our ranks feared the size and strength of these armies. However, our God is powerful and proved to us that with faith in him, there is no army too great, no force too strong, and no alliance too determined for us to defeat. The Lord crushed our foes with great hailstones from heaven.
What about the Babylonians?
More men by his hand than all that we slew by our swords. Our enemies cowered in fear as they witnessed our God commanding the moon and the sun to extend the day so that all would know the power of the living God. Soon we conquered the armies of the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Yarmouth, Lachish, and Elgon. We now were headed east to Hebron, home of Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the chiefs of the Anakim. Although their king was slain and their main military forces destroyed, many of our mighty men were still afraid. The Anakites were highly skilled warriors and seasoned in battle. Nevertheless, we pressed on, for we knew that God was with us. We sent our spies out several days ago to reconnoiter the town. However, they have not returned.
That scroll has the actual
fear
text.
The worst. They may have been captured. As a member of Caleb's elite guard, I have volunteered to go to Hebron to rescue these men. I now pray for God's abundant blessing and protection on this treacherous mission on which I am now set to embark. Wish me well.
And here we are. Apparently. Kingdom Hearts 2/.8. No. We're going to save 0.8. That'd be way too awkward because, like, there's a lot of games that happen in between 2 and 2.8, which I hate. So yeah, so we can walk around. This is our deck. So here's Barnabas as an example. So he's a 4/4, so he has 4 attack power, 4 defense power. You only use the one active to which position you are. So if you're defending, you only use your defense. Yeah, that makes sense. And it costs 4 stamina to play, so you get 20 stamina at a time. And I think there are ways to refresh it. / also you can do it on your turn. And then there's other cards like this. Revert abilities on an evil character from the Brown Brigade. Which game is actually more impactful, Coded or Birth by Sleep? Birth by Sleep, easy. Birth by Sleep actually establishes a lot of important stuff and concepts. So yeah, so we can think of these kind of like as instants and sorceries from Magic, I guess. There are also artifacts. So like Ointment here is an artifact. I think that's what the purple frame means. Like time travel. I was gonna say more like the 3 characters and Xehanort, the Keyblade, but you know, because the time travel's not even established in that one yet. Another hero might join the battle of space permits. Yeah, you only have like 5 spots. So yeah, let's wander this town, see what we can find. Actually, I'm going to save real quick, just because I don't know if this game is actually stable or not. I never got around to testing it that much. But yeah, so we're here in the lower left. I think our goal is to get up here. That's our goal, is a drawing Oh, you were thinking Dream Drop distance. I think Dream Drop still is more impactful. In your guard, our enemies draw near. Last week, Rancor caught 5 of their spies. I think Dream Drop still is more important than Coded. Cow! Welcome to Hebron. Thank you. Where do I find my victory? I was given to understand by the name of the game that there's some victory to be found. Of course. The town is very big. Be sure to use the map and view features frequently. Okay. Hey, Britt. Could you simply ignore Coded? I feel like other than bugs showing up in San Francisco, it doesn't come up again. Yeah, but the hurt. We need to explain the hurt. Also, I need to suffer for stream. It's an empty building. Hey, K-Max, Raiders, come on in. Thank you for the raid, K-Max. You join as we have just started Victory at Hebron for the very first time. This is a biblical-themed trading card game, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Literally, the game gave some, like, backstory, but then this is our goal. I still don't have a raid message. Wait, the goal changed! This is not what we were just shown earlier. I'm so confused. Or is this our, like, exact location? Maybe that's our exact location. Let me test it. Yeah, that's our more detailed location, I guess. So yeah, this game is, a game of all time. I accept your challenge for battle. Who are you? Okay, here's the playboard. I'm gonna give GameX a quick shout out. I am doing pretty well, especially considering I have no idea what I'm actually doing here. Okay, so we have Sword of the Spirit. This costs 10 stamina. And it seems to just give a buff of 1 to defense? Do we have any heroes? Oh, okay. Oh, Right. You have to first put your heroes into the abyss. So we have Silas, a 4/4 for 4. Let's see, what's Cornelius? Cornelius is a 4/4 for 4. Let's play him. I think. Okay. So I send them into battle. Oh no! Their Taskmaster's better than my Silas. This is cheating. Okay, well my Cornelius trades with their Salome. I'm gonna put that sword onto Silas so he'll live. Okay, that gave him 10 power. That's a lot. Is this the game's music? This is the game's music. This is just the combat music, apparently. Well.
Brigade mismatch.
Oh, okay. So I can only play a green card onto Cornelius because he's green. It's going hard. It really kind of is, and unexpectedly so. Yeah, I guess power up a hero. I don't know why I'm powering up a hero. I'll power up. What are these buttons? I'm trying to power up a hero. Discard 8 or less. What do you mean 8 or less? I'll discard 0. That's... don't understand what's going on. I'm trying to learn, but we did do vitality damage. Okay, so it's my upkeep. So I think this is okay. My stamina recharged. So I think I put out. I don't know if I can have 2 Silases at once. I feel yeah. So it's gonna have kind of a legendary rule style effect, I think, or maybe not.
Hero already.
Okay, yeah, I can only have 1. Did the game not explain the rules to you? No, it did not. Literally, it was like, okay, here's a cutscene explaining why this is going on. Okay, have fun. Bye. And it doesn't even follow the rules of the actual physical card game that this is based on. Like, you see it says Redemption. That's an actual card game. You can still buy it. It's still in production. I'm actually kind of curious to try it at some point. Okay, so I can set aside hero dominant, play hero or dominant cards, set aside cards or food items. Okay, so maybe... I don't think I have anything that qualifies as a dominant. Okay. Play out Silas and Samuel. Okay. Oh, I have 10 in my hand. Okay. With this card, Aaron's Rod and a banner because we have 2 of them. Okay, that was a pretty good turn because they didn't have any heroes to defend. Okay, so we know they have a Doeg? Dog? I wonder if this is old enough they would have had a physical manual with it. Probably. This game came out in 2003. But we live here now. Release set-asides. Okay. Okay, so I don't have anything to put out. I have all my heroes in play that I can. So now I can put out these heroes. This is awkward because I don't have anything yellow to power up here. But I do have this faith that I can
enhance. Hero has advantage.
Oh! That's a rule.
Brigade mismatch.
Yeah, see, I can only... Is one of these a wild card?
Brigade mismatch.
Nope. That's a hero. Oh, that's a wild card because that's a rainbow. Let's put on Samuel. Because then that'll keep our Samuel alive and we'll trample over for 3 damage. Because everything has trample in this game. So I need to discard 3 things. So it looks like you cannot power up a creature if it's unopposed. So. Okay. I still don't know what a set-aside is, but we'll get there. Mighty Warrior. Sure. Why not? So, also good to see you, Britt. I did see you earlier. You may not have heard it when I said hi, but hope you're doing well. Okay, let's put out some cards. Okay, so this is one of the interesting things, is how these line up. So this Faithful Servant's going to fight this Astrologer. Oh, that highways to the other father. Oh, well, to be fair, father's a bit in this crowd is unfortunately not specific. Anyway, so it's kind of a mirror with this U shape, so you can only ever have 5 heroes, it looks like. But so the Mighty Warrior is going to fight Ahaziah, and Silas is going to fight the Astrologers. So I need to put a Balm of Gilead onto Silas. Oh, maybe I do that later, actually. Well, it has happened now. And that's red, so I'll put a bow. Hello? Okay, there we go. I may have done that at the wrong time. I may have to do that after combat. Father. Me at a deanery meeting. I thought maybe you thought it got lost in the midst of the raid and all that. Oh no, he buffed his thing. He buffed his men's. Wait, why didn't they fight? Oh, this is the fight. I have an opportunity now to... buff in response, I think. Another hero may join the battle if space permits. Yeah, I'll put Silas back in. Discard a random card. Okay, so this is the fight on their turn. Okay, I see. That's why I had the opportunity to... Okay, I actually think I really like this game. I think this is really... mini update. Feeling better than last night. That's good. Haven't had weird heart stuff. Still concerned, but monitoring symptoms, and we'll see a doctor. Hey, that is good. We love to see it. We love to see, A, that you're feeling better, and also, you know, getting the help physically and spiritually that you need. So yeah, so I think... So I now have these cards. So I can now start modifying my deck. And I guess I just... Oh, okay. When it's talking about add food, I think that means it's from my inventory. That I have. This game is... I'm still learning, but I think I actually really like this because it's kind of... The combat's very different from Magic. Gale, if you're here, I think you'd actually really like the combat of this game because it's all combat tricks. Foolish mongrel, do you think you can defeat me? Oh, just having to... Well, amen to that. Oh, look at his stamina. It's only 14. He can barely do anything in a single turn. And his health is only 28. Oh. Look at that coin flip. Draw 3. I just realized we've been drawing 3 cards a turn. That's bonkers. Card draw is real in this. Jonathan seems good. Gideon seems good. I don't want to use all my energy on heroes right now, so I think starting with 2 6/6s is pretty good. Set hero aside. Hero gains on 1 for every turn hero prays. Interesting. Okay, so I have 2 of those. So I can make Gideon go away for a while and make him come back stronger. I have nothing purple to buff Jonathan, so that's unfortunate. So I am going to send Gideon on a prayer adventure. It is unfortunate that I took 6 there. Or no, I didn't. My vitality is the same, so I can't take damage when they're defending. Hard stuff. I'm exhausted. That is valid. I hope you can go to bed early tonight. Get some sleep. I'll take 6 here. Because I'd rather take 6 than bring Gideon back in right now. Because I don't think I'm in a huge rush. So I can bring in... Yeah, I don't have any set-asides. But if I want food, I can come here. I do have a bread. I don't think I need it right now. But, yeah, I think a Ruth is a good idea. Samuel's probably a fine idea. What's Hushel? Yeah, and a Hushai. Sorry, Hushai. We'll bring in a Hushai as well. Don't want to play Gideon yet. I think he can hang out in the back. Purity of Enoch, we'll give that to Ruth. That'll buff her. Upon going to bed early, was pretty physically drained. Yeah, it'd be like that. Concerning bodies being so weird. One day in eternity, we will understand the beauty in its fullness of a physical body. And I'm going to send Samuel on a prior adventure as well, because why not just make him more powerful? So Ruth and Belshazzar are going to trade. But then I'll have Hushai. I still have David's staff that I can give to him. Oh no! What did they just do? What? Baal worship. Evil character may not repent. I wish I knew what that meant. Okay, Chad, you're gonna cut. Ooh, I can only choose Hushai as my defender here. Yeah. Oh, 14-14. Unfortunately. Oh, gosh. If I do Shoes of Peace and David's Staff, I guess I trade. That feels really bad. That is where I learned that you can only have, like, 1 buff at a time. Nope, never mind. You can have 2. That's good. I hit chapel for a bit on the way home. That seems like a good thing to do. Yeah, no, always prayers for peace. Yeah, so we've... Okay, so they trade. So draw. Oh, so this is how I release my set-asides. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm cool with releasing Gideon right now. So that's what means release set-asides is. Okay, this game is actually making a lot of sense. So we'll play out a Gideon. So it's an 8-8 against the Red Dragon. With 7 heads and 10 horns. I thought this game was Old Testament based, but apparently it's both. That's totally fine. Cool. It's just unexpected. Wow. WoW is right. Also, why... oh, play Hero from Haven. No, I don't want to. Now I'm gonna use some peace. Gideon's gonna bring the peace to the Red Dragon. That cost me 7 to give it a 1/1. Also, revert abilities on an evil character from the Black Brigade. There is no Black Brigade evil character, unfortunately. I have 2 clemencies of David. I can discard one of those. Okay, yeah, this is definitely not all Old Testament characters, because I do not remember a Barnabas in the Old Testament quoting Acts of the Apostles. I know they have some more 6/6s, so I kind of want to wait to release Samuel one more turn. I don't really want to play Barnabas or Ruth right now because they're just 4/4s. But I don't have anything yellow to buff Gideon. So maybe I play Barnabas just because I have a lot of blue cards. I will play out Gideon here and Barnabas. They are not blocking Barnabas. Discard Ruth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still need to discard one more. We'll discard Jonathan. Sorry, Breeze Cat. I don't entirely understand the combat system yet, where sometimes things seem to attack on my turn versus attack on their turn. So currently he's attacking because the attack power is highlighted. So Helmet of Faith, Shield of Faith, and Helmet of Salvation do not help me here because they both only buff toughness. And in combat, you only care about the one on your side. So yeah, Jazaniah and I need to discard one more. Since I don't actually know what these cards do. So they'll trade. That is some aggressive art of Judas Iscariot there. Hey, Beer Fox, thank you for the 2 months of Prime. Bible trading card games? I'm in. Yes, and this is a real, actual physical game you can buy. I'm actually legit curious. Okay, so we'll bring Samuel out. I already have a blue hero. So I'm not going to put this Silas out because I don't want to... That'll be a waste of my energy. Okay, discard 8 or... Ironically, you can't use the loyalty of Jonathan on Jonathan. He's... Oh, wait, no! Oh, Dingo's Fed Kidneys. I missed my opportunity to power him up. I wasn't paying attention. Some stuff I hear about Judas Iscariot makes me think he may not be a good guy. Wait, where'd my guy go? Oh, I so was not paying attention. Everything got worse. I don't have another hero. Saw a video on YouTube about the different Bible TC. There are multiple? That's genuinely surprising. I feel like Courage is a good one to play here. Oh, I need to pick a defender. I don't have another defender. Awkward. Wait, why couldn't I level up my dude? Oh, here it goes. Okay, that's... Yeah, the turn order thing here's a little odd. Discard the Humility of Moses just because of colors. Oh, did you try to link something? Yeah, that doesn't work. I have link protection on because bots. Okay, I have no set-asides to release, so let's play out a Faithful Servant and a Mighty Warrior. Let's start building our board back. Post it to the Discords. All right, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, this one's Redemption. The game is the video game is Victory at Hebron, but the actual card game is Redemption. Okay. Put out Barnabas first because we have more blue. And then the Faithful Servant. And then the Mighty Warrior. Okay, well, Mighty Warrior's gonna die. That's unfortunate. Remember seeing boxes and packs of this in store? I believe it. Like I said, this game is still in production. It's into its 5th edition. And it has a very active competition scene, apparently, like a regular national level tournament. Okay, so I think I'm going to use Strength on Barnabas. Make him real buff. Dang it, I don't have enough to do Sword of the Spirit on Mighty Warrior. That would have been really good. What about Angel Food? Angel Food I can do.
Brigade mismatch.
What? Oh, that's not a multicolor. I thought that was well, Aaron's Rod doesn't buff the Faithful Servant here, so that's awkward. Yeah, Shield of Faith and Helmet of Salvation are both power-up card or defense cards, so that's not going to do anything. You can't see it on this side, but there's a green bar here and there's a green bar up here. I think that's how much is left in your deck. Damsel with Spirit of Divination. Okay. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. This is gonna hurt. Hey, Philly. I'm on lurk while I fix this crucifix picture for your mom. Miraculous, the glasses on it didn't break, and the picture didn't get ruined. Hey, there you go. Only frame busted up. That is fixable. I have no idea what's going on. Neither do I, but I'm having fun doing it. I kind of think I get what's going on because, like, so it's my turn, so that's why it says green action on my side. So now I have to play heroes, and it will cost me stamina, and that's the lower cost down here. So I can think of it as like putting it on the bench in Pokemon is the closest comparison I can come up with. So now Miriam is on my bench. I don't have any other hero to play, so I have to move. I'm going to see what doing bread does. Restore vitality. Yeah, this restores some health, so I think, yeah, we're gonna try it. Okay, so that got us back some health. So we're gonna, now we move into placing our heroes. Now we move into powering up. So I'm gonna give her the angel food.
Brigade mismatch.
I did it again. I did it again. I keep thinking that's a universal card. Okay, so you have to discard down to 8. That battle went awkward, but we don't take any active damage, but we are going to take damage here. Although we do have the Steadfastness of Peter, which apparently is a hero. So we're going to play out... Hello? Can I... Oh, no, that's not a hero. That's a... It just looked like it was a hero. Yeah, I have no hero to play out, so I don't know what you want, game. I think we just lose here. This is 22. We go to 1. Submissiveness. Revert abilities on an evil character from the Pale Green Brigade. So that's like if they've buffed something. Because, like, this is a 7/7. I don't know if that's pale green. But, like, this is a 7/7, but printed it's a 6/6. So, like, that would revert it. That said, we're basically dead because, like, all I can do is play Uriah, who's a 6/6 for 6. And so, like, even if we take out something of theirs, I'm going to lose on the crackback. I'd correct assume the Rotata before I could hop on. No one's done it. There has been no Rotata. I will discard my whole hand because I can. We're going to lose, so I'm like, We'll find out what happens when I lose. Well, today is the story of Zacchaeus and the tree.
Why is it so dark? Wait, I think I hear something. Am I dead?
I was not expecting that as a game over screen.
Where am I?
Well, well, look who's finally awake. Consider yourself a blessed man, soldier. They left you in the alley for the dogs. I just happened to pass by and scared the beasts away before they had you for lunch. Rest now. There is much work to do once your wounds heal. Welcome. What can I do for you today?
So that doesn't unalive me, but takes me to the market? Fascinating. Where am I physically? Oh, okay, so that's the market. That's a good place to remember on the map.
Welcome.
But anyway, so yeah, it's the story of Zacchaeus. I think there's a really interesting line in there where it says Jesus had intended to pass through, and I think that's a really interesting thing to look at in terms of like the psychology and anthropology of Christ. You know, he had a plan, and it did not involve Zacchaeus in a tree. But God bless Zacchaeus and the foolish thing he did. And I, shout out to the fools for Christ. I do love a fool for Christ. Were you meant to lose? Maybe? Jalen has many goods for sale. So I think I'm just supposed to go around into houses and find people to fight. And this Hebron place is pretty big.
You
Gate
must
locked.
defeat the boss that governs the current area of town. Come back when you're ready.
Look, we have actual goals. Grown-ups, just find people to fight. I mean, isn't that how you spend your Saturdays? Me on the streets of New York City. I'm gonna fight someone. So I guess an idea I have for this in terms of strategy is to actually thin out a particular color or two in the deck. Like, the more synergized everything is color-wise. Touch the heart to restore yourself. Okay. Another gate.
You must defeat the boss that governs the current area.
Okay, but where is this boss? Is this supposed to be the Sabbath? Nah, it's just what I do on Saturdays. I mean... Also, I just love the animals just standing perfectly still in the middle of town. I'm guessing this is the final area, this temple ziggurat-looking place.
Do not think that you can get into the tower fortress so easily. You must get a key from each of the 5 town bosses first.
Okay. Walk around people's house. Just you do duel. Okay, play an island. Go. I like to think I'm striking the fear of God into people's hearts, especially with an island go start. Yeah, I can't believe they keep printing islands. Does your grandpa give you a special ambulance? Yeah, it's a scroll with a Shema on it. Okay, so there's a lot down here we haven't explored, so maybe the boss is down that way. Should we be at it? Now, I am curious, if I lose, do I always go back to the shopkeep, or is that just a one-time thing? You cannot defeat us. Okay, this guy looks like a villain from Yu-Gi-Oh! Says the story is Simic Band Is It player? No. I'm really more of an Is It Grixis player. What's Mark? Mark is a 4/4 for 4 with a bit of a baby face. Faithful Servant. Yeah. Shoes of Peace. Oh, those are good, actually. 8 plus 8 plus 8 for 10? I'm just not a Screw player. Do not worry about me. Tell me about that mono white control deck you were playing last night then, Gale. Oh, why did you have to have two things? This is unfair. This game's cheating. Okay, so Faithful make him trade. Hero may be withdrawn from battle unharmed. Sword of the Spirit would just strike him down. Breastplate of Holiness doesn't do anything. Faithful Servants, that. Ointment's a defense card. Banner's white. So I'm going to lose one of these creatures here. So I guess I'll give Sword of the Spirit. Well, actually, I'll give Sword of the Spirit to the Faithful Servant.
Not enough.
Oh, no, I thought this was 2. It's 3. I was thinking, oh, I could also put that on Mark and then defeat Belshazzar, but oh well. I have seen your Simic nonsense. It was great. Choose a defender. Yeah, Faithful Servant. Doge? Why you have a Doge? Okay, so I can have multiple Faithful Servants because it's not a named hero. Okay. So now we can power these up. So, Shoes of Peace. Ointment would be a good one. I think I'll put Ointment on this Faithful Servant here, because then they'll trade. And I guess if I put... I'm going to use the Breastplate here on Barnabas. We'll let the False Prophet and the Faithful Servant trade. Okay, so it looks like in between each of these 5 battles, there is an opportunity to draw a card, draw 3 cards, and then do the next battle. Tokens. So now I could play Shoes of Peace, and I could take out the Doge. I don't really have a much other option, I think. It's either... Like, I don't like having to lose that there, but... Oh, I have to discard something. Peace. Torn Mantle. No other hero may join a battle. Okay. I don't know why you played that, but I have no set-asides to release. I don't want to play out Esther here because I don't have any purple cards to buff her. But I will play out this Christian Soldier. I'll play him out first, actually. Oh. Okay, so Salome and the Faithful Servant are going to fight. So... what does a captured hero mean? I'm just gonna... oh, I can't put that on her because she's green. Okay, so they're just gonna trade. Purity of Enoch, banner. Yeah, so they get a chance to draw 3 cards and buff this. Okay, so I have no set-asides. I do have... I think it's worth putting a Samuel in, because I can give him prayer and fasting. So Christian Soldier can get in, because I do have red cards. Barnabas can get in, and Samuel can get in. So power up. Gonna remove Samuel. Send him on a prayer and fasting adventure. Then we have Helmet of Brass, which is a defensive, or Bow and Arrow, which is an offensive. But, oh, it's not going to even be enough. That's unfortunate. So I'm not going to bother with it, I think. Oh, that's unfortunate. These astrologers are really good at defending. I don't want to release Samuel from his fasting yet. I don't think it's quite worth it. Esther seems good. 6/6. Love to see it. Okay, so we have Obedience of Noah and 2 Faiths. So if they block Barnabas with that, we could trade it. Mercy of James and Ezekiel's stick. It's not great. So I'm going to put out Barnabas and hope they block with the astrologers first. Yep, great. Oh, Ruth is a 6/6. That would have been fine, actually. Okay, so everyone's in from Haven. So power up a hero. So I'm going to have to put both Faiths on Barnabas here. And if they get something bigger, I can withdraw him still, I think. Could give David staff. Hey, this looks like a game I bought for the kids and we never played. Oh, I think you're actually genuinely missing out. It's a little confusing at first, but I actually think... I'm actually legitimately having fun and really getting into this. And I knew nothing about how to play this game, what, an hour ago? And now I am starting to formulate strategy, and it's actually really fun. Redemption? This is Redemption? This is based on Redemption. Actual physical Redemption plays a little bit differently from what I can understand. But yeah, it is based on Redemption. You can see Redemption. I'm deciding if I want to buff Esther here or not. I can give her the Mercy of James and still hold on to Stillness to pull back Barnabas if need be.
Cannot enhance. Hero has advantage.
What is that? How does... How does she have advantage? She's up against something. I don't understand. Oh, it's because she's already going to win. You can't win more. That's an interesting rule. So now he's buffed both of these. So now I get a chance to buff both of them. I played MTG in high school. Ooh, I love MTG. I play a lot of it still. Just gonna give this a shot at the place I thought I went out of business pretty quickly. Yeah, I think it's a hard actual physical game. Like, there are people who play it. There are active competitions, but it's still a little difficult to find sometimes. Obedience of Noah. Even if I do double do it, it's not going to be enough. What about Courage? Courage would take it to 10. So a Courage and a double Obedience of Noah would get it there. I don't know what a... I don't know what a captured hero is yet. So I still can't target that, but then... we're just going to have to trade here with Esther and Ahaziah. Yep, I have discard to 8. So it seems if the defender has disadvantage, they have an option to draw cards. But that also gives me, the attacker, the option to draw cards. And it refills my vitality when they do that, so... Okay. I wish I could do this on Esther right now, but... Brigade mismatch. The only other purple thing I have is Ezekiel's Stick, which could bring in another hero, but I don't have another hero, so unfortunately I am just going to lose Esther here. It's a shame. Esther's cool. I need to discard down to 8. We'll discard that one. Okay, so they went ahead with that battle. And finally we got to go ahead with that battle. False Shepherds? Yeah, I'll stick him in defense mode. I don't have defenders. I'm out of them. Huh. Okay, so we could power him up with Faith. That's our only option. So Faith onto Barnabas. Because Balm of Gilead... Heal and return a Blue Brigade hero to Haven at the end of the battle. I think that's... Well, let's not do that yet. I don't think we have to. Discard down to 8. I don't have any red heroes, so I'll discard those red cards. Oh, bye. That's a lot of damage. So that'll take me up to 13, which is still not enough. So this is where I think I put the Balm of Gilead on Barnabas, because this will also bring him back as a 6/6 at the end of combat. Son of God! Heal and protect all heroes from all enhancement effects. Increase abilities All abilities 0-15 on all heroes and field of battle. Okay, so basically, this is fog. This is take no damage this turn. I'm okay with this. I do think it's probably good to play Jonathan. Oh, release the side side? I think we can release Samuel as a 6/6. What's Othniel? Othniel's a 4/4. Jonathan's a 6/6. Miriam's a 4/4. So I think I'm just going to play Jonathan. They have a bunch of 4/4s and a 4/5, so I'm going to play out Jonathan. Could meditate Jonathan. Yeah, because this is where this game gets really interesting, in my opinion, because it's like... Now I have to look at how much stamina I have and what I want to do. So I think I am actually going to summon Miriam, because this Aaron's Rod might help me really... Wizards? I just have actual factual wizards. Anyway, what I think I could do is, since these are evil characters, I think that's what the scorpion means. If they try to buff something, I can Aaron's Rod it. Not Magi? Apparently not. No, just wizards. Okay, so now... Okay, so I have 10 energy, 10 stamina. So I want to hold on to this in case they buff something. Stillness, no. Strength. Okay, so wait, how much does Aaron's Rod cost? Aaron's Rod costs 9. So what are they going to do damage to first? Probably Samuel, I guess. So maybe I prayer and fasting Samuel, let these trade, and then get an opportunity to reset my stamina. Yeah, see, that reset my stamina. So that took that up to a 6/6. They trade. They trade. That's awkward. I didn't actually want that. So I guess I can send Jonathan to go meditate. It really seems to be the best option for me right now. And that's the end of my turn. So now I have to discard down to 8. Let's get rid of this stillness. I haven't really used it. And I don't really have any green cards left, so I'll get rid of Clemency of David. Abihu. New phone, Abihu. Or I guess Abihu Dis. Another hero may join. I can't really use that, but I guess I could give him the Helmet of Salvation. So, yeah, we'll put out Hushai. I have no other defender. I have no other defender. So now I can power him up. So we'll give him the Helm of Salvation. Discard 8 or less. I don't think I need 2 Aaron's Rods. Devotion of Ruth seems very edge case because it's on the gray only. I think it's probably good to release these guys as 7/7s. Burb. 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 Okay, so Ruth's a 4/4/4. You can give her a banner, so 6/6. We have a Chad. He's just a Chad. Othniel's just an Othniel. I think we have enough heroes for now, so I'm just going to play him out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's less fine. So there's nothing we can actually do for Samuel here, which is awkward. There's also nothing we can do for Jonathan. They're just going to trade. So I guess I have sound the alarm. So sound the alarm. And we'll... Oh, dang it. They have to be in the... They have to be in the Haven for this ability to activate. That's... Oh, I thought that buffed. Oh, that was a complete waste of energy. This is awkward. Ashtaroth. Angel of the Lord. Discard all evil characters in play, including any protected characters. Sure. Oh, that wipes their haven too? Let's go. That was awesome. That wins us the game. It's good to know we have a Wrath. Yeah. Okay, so it does seem like I lost my my reserve when I died. Yes. Okay, we're gonna save. Okay, I want to try getting more south here. Ah, that's how you touch the water. That's good to know that my vitality does not regenerate between each battle. I kind of want to buy some booster packs of Redemption now and open them on camera and talk as though I know what I know what they mean, even though I really don't. So door here. You dare challenge me to battle in my own household? Prepare to meet your maker, young warrior. Wait a minute, are we the invaders? Are we the bad guys? Come on, coin flip. Yeah, let's go. Okay, so we have a Mark, a Silas, who are functionally identical, and a Cornelius, but we don't actually have anything green. So I think I'm going to play out the Silas and the Mark for now, because I have faith and courage and strength. Okay. Captain Ahab. So that's more of a defensive one. 3-5, 2-4. Yeah, let's put a strength onto Mark. Are all invaders the bad guys? I mean, usually. Did I miss something early? An invasion or raid? Yeah, we conquered the city already, but now we're back, I guess. So, courage on one of them. And faith on the other. Oh, I need to discard something. Banner. But now they get an option to buff. Oh, that's a very large. So we could still trade if we use the Shoes of Peace. Or we can conquer it if we use the Breastplate of Righteousness. I think we'll use the Breastplate. See ya, Cornelius, and see you, Steadfastness. Oh, he just used a lot of stamina to heal himself with this evil herb. Oh, it's so evil, evil herb. Yeah, I can play out Jonathan. We've got a purple card to buff him. Mark. Silas. Jonathan. Let's put some faith onto Silas. And a Mercy of James onto Jonathan. Oh, you love to see it. Deborah or Othniel? Yeah, let's summon out. Let's get Deborah out. Everyone loves a good judge. Put Jonathan out. I said... Put Jonathan... Oh, we're not in that phase yet. Okay. Put Jonathan out first. I don't think I'm going to play Deborah out because I don't actually have a purple card to... Well... I have Shoes of Peace. Okay, he's gonna make me use the Shoes of Peace here. These shoes are so peaceful, I'll tell you what. Discard? Yeah. Welcome back. Forcefulness of Isaiah. Yeah, Isaiah was pretty forceful. Oh, we got some bread. Let's go. I think we now own that guy's house. How am I supposed to get back, though? Like... I got stuck? Does that mean you got rent? I think so. I guess I went in there and said, I'm your landlord now. You invaded that guy's house and stole it by throwing cards at him. No, it's fine. Guys, I think we might be the bad guys. No. No. Dang it, there's a gate there. Yeah, I really feel like I'm supposed to be able to get... Maybe that you are supposed to just lose that fight and then you're stuck in this first area. Because I can't seem to find a way out of it. And this map is not the most accurate, I'm learning. I'm glad that apparently 90% of this game's budget went to the music, though. My strength is 5, apparently. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I also noticed there doesn't seem to be anything like gold or currency with which to buy from the shopkeep.
Welcome. What can I do for you today?
A rare gem is compensation. 1 emerald and a common gem. I don't think I've even come across gems yet. Okay, so this is kind of that market square. So yeah, it's all blocked off that way. So let's try to go around it this way, I guess. Aren't you the small side to be a warrior? This guy's kind of jacked. Have you tried winning gold by throwing cards at people? You know, I have. It just they haven't given it to me. Boo. Judas Iscariot, eh? Well, have a Chad. You know what? Yeah. Oh no! I was thinking magic rules, like that would still have them be blocked. Probably need to do some lords or something. Yeah, I think I need to find someone in charge. Demand their rent. Yeah, Chad as a 7/7 is pretty good. That's a joke that only makes sense to Magic players, I'm realizing, but I'm gonna keep calling him Chad, so. The other turn able. Yeah, okay, so we'll bring back Mark as a 6/6, I guess. And then Gideon can have some wisdom. Goliath's spear. I'm just gonna cast Son of God here. You can't find any jump starts boxes for foundations. Oof. That magic will feel call. Last time I played Magic with anyone outside the family has been since the early 2Ks. Oh man. Magic has gotten so much weirder. I do long for the olden days sometimes. I have no sides to release. Yeah, Esther's a 6/6. Okay. Okay. All right. Obedience of Nua. That will be enough. We have no targets because we don't have a convert all abilities. I don't think I need to do that yet, so I think I just... Oh, I have peace or I have peace. Well, peace it is. Hey, Hope. This game is called Victory at Hebron. It's based on the card game Redemption. Okay. I don't know if I want to play Hushai because we don't... Well, we have Helmet of Brass. That's a defensive card, so we'll ping onto him, I think. Bring Samuel out. I don't know if we play him, actually. I also want to give... Yeah, you know what? I'll give Samuel the Sword of the Spirit. Discard Hushai. It's like Christian Virgin Magic the Gathering, kind of. I think it was definitely intended to be that kind of when it was first made in the 90s. I think that's when Redemption was first made. Yeah, we'll play a Jonathan. Because I think if I just overwhelm them at this point. From who you thought I was listening to Rams. It really sounds... They kind of went way harder than they needed to on the soundtrack. Yes, I am a bit small. Whoa, okay. Oh, I didn't heal. We don't have that much damage taken. I think we'll be fine. Starting with an Esther is nice, but we don't... It's actually a really bad opening hand. This is where I wish we had a... Also, I have no idea what this is. SB and GRSI. Guess we'll start with a Gideon and... I guess if I just, like... I'm just going to try this game. I'm just going to try and set out a bunch of things and see what happens. No power-ups. Just go for the Zerg Rush. Run away or pull out your holy hand grenade. Hallelujah. Not bad, but I was confused for a moment. That's fair. I'm still confused, and I'm the one playing this. Well, goodbye, faithful servant. Goat with horn. There are lots of goats with horn. Oh, so that's a captured hero. Magic has me going back a bit. Hey, that's okay. Trust me, I am super nostalgic when it comes to Magic. Like, literally, you can't tell, but these 5 black frames behind me are all Magic cards. Okay, so what's going on? That's going on. Okay, so we can pull Gideon back to meditate, but then we'll take 8. We could do Steadfastness of Peter and just trade. It's probably better.
Brigade mismatch.
Oh, no, it's yellow. Ah! Oh, Wisdom. Okay. I was looking at the frame. Haven't played Magic Arena in over a year, and you're making me contemplate going back to it. Do it. It's fun. You thought they were Pokemon. I mean, modern Magic cards do look like Pokemon cards. Boxes of cards. Cards on cards and cards and cards. Okay, so I have no set-asides. I have never totally used any of Father Evan's decks and accidentally done okay despite barely knowing how to play. That is very believable, especially when there's another witness in chat. Yeah, I guess I have Esther. So if things get really bad, I can give her... I can meditate her? Oh, but I don't want to do that. I'm not going to play out Esther this turn. I actually kind of want to hold on to her to be defensive, which I shouldn't have even played her out, because you can defend from your hand. Yeah, I got no other defenders. Okay, another Jonathan, another faithful servant. Yeah, again, I feel like I need to play a little defensively here. So I'm just going to summon these two, and I'll actually play them. Oh. Trying to get ahead of the game. There was a wizard in my class in high school. He would whip up the craziest combos. Should have seen his unglued deck. Oh dear, unglued. Oh dear, that's a... well... No, I wanted to... Okay, so that resolves that battle. Okay, so I still have nothing that I can use to level her up except for the Shield of Faith. So I may as well. Chaos Confetti. Oh, what a card. Oh, man. You make me so nostalgic. Angel of the Lord's a really good combat trick, so I'm just going to go straight to battle here. Because if I do this, I hit for 16 and I destroy 3 of their creatures, so I think it's worth it. Where is it? Angel of the Lord. Oh. Came into the game at the beginning of the Wrath Cycle 5th edition. Ooh, nice. Really weird era of novels, I gotta say. The Wrath Cycle. The ending, though, of the Weatherlight Saga is really it. I think the final few chapters are actually really well written and really interesting. Like, especially the scene in the Phyrexian arena, I think is, like, from the perspective of Yawgmoth. I thought that was actually really well written and really cool. Started the novels in the... Oh, no, they did. I'm saying, like... Because there's the Artifacts cycle, and that's, like, the Brothers' Wars stuff. Then there's the early Tolarian stuff. Then there's the Wrath cycle. Then there's the Weatherlight cycle. Like it's all one overarching story, but there's like sub cycles within it that they're referred to. Okay. I'm giving Esther a sword. Not that I needed to. We were going to win anyway. We kind of need to go back and drink the water. This is a downside of this game, I think. You just kind of wind up wandering around town a lot. Score. I'm just looking for doors now to find people. Come on, let me go first. Let me go first. Yes. Okay, so we've got a Deborah, a Hushai, a Mighty Warrior, and a Ruth. I think I'm just going to play Ruth and Deborah here. Because I don't have any... Oh, I might play Barnabas as well, actually. Because I've got Faith, Peace, and Banner. I need to go to the big house on the hill. Yeah, that's the final dungeon, I think. We tried going there, and they're like, oh, you need to defeat the 5 other bosses before you can come here. Okay, so I can do Banner. Yeah, I can do Banner and Faith. Bird abilities of an evil character in the Grey Brigade. I don't have that. Although it'd be funny to use Devotion of Ruth on Ruth. Yeah, I think Banner's probably the appropriate one here. Haven't figured out how to play Control. I don't think I have enough cards. Like, my first focus is probably to cut out colors in my deck. Because right now we have, what is it? Green, yellow, white, red, blue, purple. So there's 6 colors. And I'd kind of like to trim that back to 3, maybe 2, if possible. Because they all seem pretty interchangeable. They don't seem to have a ton of stuff that makes them unique. So, just a big house on the hill. Betrayal going on inside? Probably. Because it is full of the evil people that we need to defeat. Hey, Beth, real good to see ya. Oh, that was a great first turn. Prince of Persia? That's a great game. No idea what I'm looking at, but it's a gorgeous interface. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel right now, but I'm having fun, so... I guess I could use Mighty Warrior to get in another person, but I don't know. Problem is that, like, this doesn't even buff Deborah enough to defeat the Prince of Persia. Angel Food would be enough for Ruth. Purity of Enoch would be enough as well, but would be your trades. I'm going to summon Cornelius, but I don't think I'm going to place him. So for now, I'm just going to place Ruth. Oh, they didn't do anything when I did that. They were like, I'm going to hold back my cards for something else. And then I had nothing else. So, you know. So this time I think I can put out... I have faith. Uh-huh. So I'm going to put out Barnabas and Ruth. Great. So I don't want to put out any other heroes because they'll just wind up being eaten by Prince of Persia there. So instead I'm going to put Faith onto Barnabas. So they'll trade. And I will put... I'll put Angel Food onto Ruth, because just to make it safe. Discard down to 8. We'll discard Mark. So they're at disadvantage, so they get the option to buff. Sell trade. Now I get the option to buff. So this is where something cheaper like Purity of Enoch is going to come in handy. Discard down to 8. Discard Shy. I think that's 8. Yeah. Okay, see, they're playing very defensively now. Problem is, I don't really have anything that's super strong. So I think I'm going to put Esther onto the bench because she's a 6/6. And otherwise, I think I'm just going to pass. Because I can... I can use Shield of Faith defensively. Or they're not going to do anything. Okay, that's a defensive card. That's a defensive card. I'm going to put Esther out. But I'm going to then send her to meditate. Okay. Guess Deborah can block there. Miriam, get under yon bus. Okay, well that's... So I do Shield of Faith or Breastplate of Faith, of Righteousness. I guess because I have another Deborah, I'll save Miriam. So I'll take 2 there. Not great. Not the end of the world. Okay, double Astaroth Worship. And a Torn Mantle, and they still lose. Esther can hang out there a bit longer. So we have a white, a green, and a green hero. Let's put Deborah on the board. This with strength and Balm of Gilead. I don't have a blue hero. One day I will learn how card games work. This may not be that day. Yeah, Ruth can defend there. Bad figs. Why would you eat bad figs? Okay, so peace. His eye is a brown. So peace won't work, unfortunately. Devotion of Ruth's only giving 1. Although it reverts a gray, so that would revert Abihu. Now, let's put the breastplate on Ruth. Don't underestimate my amazing observation skills. I mean, I won't, but I'm also saying this game is weird. So currently they're going to trade and they're going to trade. I think that's fine. Because if they tried to do something else, I can react. Buy Jonathan. And buy second piece. You gave him an axe. You must ask me a question. Now's a good time to release Esther. I have no yellow hero, so I think this is Othniel's time to shine. Ask me about Loom. Is the metal track the music to this game? Yeah, this is the actual in-game music. I have not messed with anything. I have not touched it. There are no mods. This is the game as the developers intended, complete with the music. Maybe Hushai can get in here. Okay. And then... Yeah, this is a lot to keep track of. Othniel can get in. Okay, as long as Othniel's getting in. Ruth can get in. Okay, they're going to block Ruth. So Ruth's going to go away because this is not enough to save her. But maybe we try Zergrush? Snare. No, my Cornelius. Okay. Well, actually, Mark's pretty good here. Loyalty of Jonathan. So I think we go to combat now, and everything is basically the same size except for Esther. So Faithful Servant can go away, as can Peace. You said Othniel, and I was very confused because I heard oatmeal. Oh, wow. Look at that herb. You spend a turn and you get back all that health. That's pretty good. Diamonds! Okay, so I guess the loot is I can trade, because this is the first gem we've found. But also decrease abilities on a character, so being able to use it as a one-time ability seems pretty good. Arrow of Deliverance. Floating axe head. Okay, that seems good. I do like my purple characters. It might just be purple bias because I like the color purple, but I'm kind of thinking maybe... I don't know how much the playstyle varies. It does seem like there is some based on the colors, so I'm kind of thinking purple and blue seem to be the ones I like right now, but again, it's hard to say. Yes, hex code purple. Forever and always. Oh, that's a new track. Do I lack biblical knowledge, or am I correct to ask, who is Othniel? That is also correct. Also, Meep is here to help celebrate Purple Mass. He got it. Nailed it. Got in one. Let's look at the deck. Othniel was yellow? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. There's your answer. Oh, wow. I don't like how this game looks. What? This is the finest Christian indie dev from 2003. Also good to see, like, oh, Gale has redeemed a father joke. Oh, vile enemy, I shall dispatch you with a single blow of my blade. So Gale. Did you know that there's a zebra rule in baseball? It's true. It's 3 stripes and you're out. Do you prefer this or Chandalar? Ooh. This feels more fair than Chandalar. Why is Michael Jackson in this game? Don't worry about it. Okay, so we have a Wisdom, a Banner. So I think Othniel and Ruth can come out. And a Jonathan, why not? As a treat. I smirk, so I'll actually pay for the joke. Aha! Sorry, I'll let the master do it.
Ah, the French.
Okay. Mercy of James costs 2. So, and Banner costs 2. And Wisdom costs 2. So I can put all 3 of these nerds out. No, that was the discard. Oh, no. Oh, I thought I was on the power-up phase by accident. Oops. Awkward. I thought you mispronounced zebra. It should rhyme with Deborah. It's not zebra. An evil herb. Okay, you can spend your turn doing that. Have no asides to release. I'll put Uriah on the bench for now. Put Jonathan out. Aha, I was wondering when there was gonna be some sort of counterplay. He is sowing discord. Oh, that could be a sound I put on the soundboard, the Discord notification. Just casually just whoop. That looks like a really bad Photoshop of an actual picture. Okay, you're gonna give it grief. Give it the mercy of James and the loyalty of Jonathan. Look, Jonathan has the loyalty of Jonathan. Sorry, Ruth. I already have one of you. The riff on this is similar to the beginning of Tom Sawyer by Rush. Ooh, I can see that. I have no sides to release. I can put a mark out. What a mark. He believes wrestling is real. Beast from the sea? What? We already had the Red Dragon. Why is there two cards with the same thing? So why is it so big? Unfortunately, that thing just kind of hoses me. So I'm just going to try and get out a bunch of other stuff. So at least those trade. Spoon! And very spoon, you'll be free. Hey, wait a minute, that's cheating. Well. I do like Deborah. Oh, I was hoping they'd play out the 10-10. There's a balm. Bow and arrow. And seagull stick. 10-10, she's my favorite of the Naruto characters. What? What? Deborah's gonna show the sea beast where it's at with the shoes of peace. The swing was my favorite character. Chad, are you okay? Are you okay? I feel like you're having a bit of a day. Hammer of God. Actually seems like a pretty good card. Also, we've got a decent amount of yellow going at this point. Yeah, 4-2 for 3. I like that set. Wow, I'm understanding stat lines and parsing it out quickly. Okay, we're going to go heal. And I think that's where we're going to call it for the day. Okay. I like this game. I'm having fun with this, and I want to see more. No boss yet? No, go and find him. Go and find him. Could not find him. No, chat is not okay. Well, that's what I thought. That's usually the case. Where's my button? There's my button. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today looking at Gate of Hebron. We're going to keep playing this for Spirituality Tuesday for a bit, maybe through the end of the year. We'll see. Join us again tomorrow for Midweek Minecraft as we continue working on the Modernist House. And then on Thursday, hopefully finishing up Super Metroid. Next week, Monday, more Chrono Trigger. Tuesday, more Victory at Hebron. Midweek Minecraft on Wednesday. Don't know if I'm going to stream on Thanksgiving. We'll see. I just might do something random. The end of the year is so far away. Wait. Yeah, I know, right? Where Tempest Fusion and all that. And then not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, Giving Tuesday, I will be doing a bonus marathon as part of Giving Tuesday, as part of fundraising for Busted Halo. I will be playing randomized games with a twist, and it's going to be fun. I don't want to give away all the secrets, but it's the two things I'm going to say is it's randomizer and it's Kingdom Hearts, and it's probably not what you think, but it's still pretty fun. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. So that'll be going 1 to 5 on that Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in, rated, subbed, given gifts, given bits, all that good jazz. Checked out the YouTube, checked out the Discord. Shout out to you, YouTube. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and let's see who's live to raid into. Hal is live, and he's playing some Fallout New Vegas. Raid call will be, is this a jambling stream? So there's the text for you in chat to copy. So spam, is this a jambling stream? Give him some love. Hal's a good guy. What else was I going to say? I think that's everything. So hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.